Happy people, happy people. I hope we are all doing well today on this Wednesday. I wanted to take us time out. I know it's been a while since I made a post, and the message today is so indicative on me talking about why it's so important not to let things like this keep you from doing what God has commissioned you to do, the purpose that you are here to fulfill what God has called you to do. And so I would like to talk with you about today, just real quickly and briefly. I'm not going to hold you long. I know we got things to do, and I know our attention span don't go that long. But I wanted to share with you about the spirit of distraction and how it catapults out of nowhere very, very seamlessly, like you will never even know that it's coming upon you. And I was talking to my producer today, and we were talking about just how to get rid of the spirit of distraction and how to really focus. And so I know many of you have dreams, many of you have visions, many of you have uh, purpose inside you. Many of you have so many other things that you feel that God is calling you to do, and oftentimes we get so offset by the mundane of the hustle and bustle. I lost a truly good friend of mine's on this year, just less than a month ago. A real good friend of mine. I called him brother, and that seemingly got things in a place of where I got distracted because I was so kind of worried about his wife. I was so worried about what he was going through, and I wanted to be there for him. And then I had some issues that was going on with my house, cars issues, and all these different things that just the enemy continued to use as a spirit of distracting me. And I remember talking to my spiritual mother, um, and she gave me a message to go listen to. And I realized that it was exactly that: distractions, things that's keeping you busy or things that's keeping you occupied, so you won't focus on the real purpose. And so today I was talking to my producer, and he said, speaking of, are you going to continue to do those Wednesday live videos? And I'm like, oh my God, I've been so bombarded with things. My sister um, fell and broke her femur, and so she was in the hospital, and that has been bothering me. It's been one thing after another. And I said, oh my God, I forgot all about the Wednesday lives. Please forgive me, people. Please forgive me. And so I said, okay, I don't even know what to talk about. I said, I haven't even thought about, the Wednesday live with so many things that are going on. And he said, well, it sounds like, one of the good things that you could talk about is distractions. And I'm like, good point there. And so it so subtly came on, people. I mean, when I say subtly, you don't even realize that that's what's taking place until you already are in it. You don't even realize that that's what's taking place because you're so in the normalism of life. And you're receiving calls, you're talking to this person, you're doing this, and it's so normalized to where I promise you, you won't even see that it's there until it's already on you or you are already distracted. And so I want to encourage you today. I want to really, encourage you in a way to open your eyes and make sure that as you're traveling to this place called purpose, as God has you on a road of doing certain things that are going to get you to a place of where you can be used by Him. I want you to be very aware of the spirit of distraction and how they can come. Listen, these are all legit things. These are all things that I definitely had to handle. And I'm not even for sure if those things had never happened, how I would have even handled them or how I could have handled them differently. And so, but I needed to regain focus. I needed to regain sight and vision on why I'm here on earth and what I need to do. And so the scripture came to me, and it's in Matthew 6, chapter 30. It says, what is he trying to encourage us to do? Look to the end, he said, do not get so bound up and distracted by struggles of daily lives. And so my purpose, your purpose is to go and see what the end is going to be. I am not dismissing what I've gone through. I am not trying to make those things lighthearted of what I've gone through, but I had to get rid of and know what, the wrong word. I had to bring focus, what my purpose is here, because those that are, that are sick, or those that have gone on, they may have gone and done their purpose. But I had to get back to what my original plan that God had for me. And I realized that I realized it because I'm talking to people on a daily basis, and I'm not the only one that is bound or distracted by the spirit of distraction. Come on now, I know there's somebody out there. I'm not the only one that's dealing with the hustle and bustle of life, challenges, and trying to, get this taken care of. But I've learned that these distractions are only for a while. I made a post with my family, and I said, even though I can see the enemy's hand, I yet can still have a smile on my face. Even though I've lost some great loved ones that I love dearly with all my heart, I can still say that God is truly worthy, and he's truly worthy of all the praise. Even though I am not where I need to be or where I want to be, I'm not where I could have been. And so I wanted to encourage you guys in saying, look up, get focused, and start pursuing your purpose as if you know that it's your last time. You got to go after it. And one of those things that we have to learn how to do is we have to learn how do I get focused? How do I get rid of distractions? Listen, the Bible said that some things come out by prayer and fasting. And I learned even on my daily devotion and reading the word and spending time with God, that the word of God says that if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray. And I kept on homing in on humble and humble. And so when I went and digged in further, I realized that humble is another word in the Greek, in the Hebrew word of fasting. So he was really saying, if my people will humble them, will fast and pray. And so some things come out just by fasting and praying. Some things will loose off of you by you getting into a place of prayer and fasting. Come on, people. We gotta fast and we gotta pray, and we gotta make this thing that God is calling us to do, him as being our main priority. Who am I talking to? We got to make him our main priority. And so I'm looking at ways to make sure I'm doing things on purpose. Come on, I got it on my one of my shirts. In purpose, on purpose, with all power. That I'm pursuing a living God. I'm pursuing him in a way where I can hear his voice clearly. I'm pursuing him in a way that my vision and my sight becomes clear ahead of where he's taking me. I'm pursuing him in a way that that I can hear his voice, and a stranger I won't follow. I'm pursuing him in a way that I'm focused. My God, I don't know. I'm pursuing him in a way that I'm focused. And there's some things that I'm excited about that are getting ready to come to the forefront. I know that you guys may have seen the pilot to Let's Talk Truth, and we are excited about that. That God has opened up he's opening up many doors for that thing to come into fruition the way it needs to be. I'm excited about that. And I'm learning how to relax in the place of getting there, not being anxious for nothing. The word of God says, be anxious for nothing, but with everything, prayer and supplication. And sometimes these things that come upon us, it'll cause us to go into prayer. It'll cause us to go into supplication, making our requests known to God. Come on now. I know that there's a lot of dreamers. I know that there's a lot of people that have vision. I know that there's a lot of people that have hope, and we got offset and we get discouraged because distractions come. We get discouraged because it's 20 years later and it still haven't happened. And the Lord reminded me that Jesus was 30 years old before he really came on the scene to do what he was called to do. And I was also reminded that while he was doing it, he was a carpenter. And listen, so sometimes we get very, very like, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that because I know I'm supposed to be doing this. But let me tell you something. We got to occupy ourselves. Maybe it's getting that book that God has given you fine tuned. Maybe it's getting that movie script that God has given you, getting the fine tune. Maybe it's getting on your face a little bit more, so when He presents you to a world, He can present you faultless. Come on now, there's certain things that we have to do that gets us in alignment to where He's trying to take us. Huh? Come on now, come on now. I don't know who this is for. I don't know who this is going to bless, but I believe that it's going to bless you guys in a way to say, bring your mind in, bring your spirit in, and say, Lord, listen, it's been too long that I've been holding on to a promise. Now I need to get focused on how to bring those things in. And I'm talking to you because I know I am not the only one that's dealing with distraction. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm getting phone calls out of the wazoo of people that are going through various things, so much so I'm even putting together, getting ready to do a conversation of healing with some individuals and different people in different places to home in on bringing purpose back to the forefront of why we're here on earth. And so I'm excited about that. We're excited about that. My whole team is excited about that. There's been people that I've been talking with that just don't even know how to get back on the saddle and how to get back up and get back in it. And I'm telling them that, listen, you have to go back to God's original intent on why He brought you to this earth. You have to go back to the original intent of His purpose for you. And then they were saying, well, I don't know what my purpose is. I said, no, everybody got one. If you breathe it, you got a purpose. You just got to be able to get quiet enough to where you can hear His voice and He can start giving that thing inside you a direction. Some of us are so busy trying to go to this place and go see this person and do this and do that. Where you can't hear His voice. Listen, because we're thinking that He's just gonna knock us over, and He comes in a still small voice. He comes in a still quiet voice. And so that means that you have to get still so you can hear His voice. And He can lead and guide you and give you direction. I hope that this is helping someone, because I just really get a sense in my spirit that there's somebody out there that's ready to throw in the towel. There's someone out there that's ready to give up. There's someone out there that's to say there's too many distractions. There's too many things going on. What do I need to do? And I'm telling you that it's time to get still and get quiet so you can hear His voice. Come on. He's waking me up 5 o'clock in the morning. I ain't got to get out my bed until 7, but I'm getting up 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm listening to His voice and I'm listening to what He says, because a lot of times we talk so much we can't hear what He's saying. We telling Him everything that we want, but we ain't listening to nothing of what He needs to get. And I heard a quote, and I'm gonna say it, that God will never do anything without His people on earth, but you can never get anything from God without using people. And God, and so He needs us to be in position, is what I'm saying. He needs us to be in position. He needs us to be readily open to hear. He said, listen, he said, my sheep know my voice, and a stranger that they won't follow. What is a stranger that you following? These distractions. What is the stranger that you following? All these other things. I gotta go do this. I gotta go do that, and I gotta go and meet with my friends next week, and I gotta fly down here and do this. Come on, it's too many things. And He said, no, get quiet. Get quiet so I can give you instructions. I have need of you, but I can't get those things that I have need of you to you because you won't get still to listen. I know I'm talking to somebody. I know I'm talking to somebody. Listen. And so if you're going to be ever used by God, you got to get into a place to where you got to get still and you got to get focused, and you got to get focused in a way that says, I got my eyes on the prize. Listen, as long as he stepped off the boat, and kept his eyes on Jesus, he was able to walk on water. Some of us we can't keep our eyes on them. What do I mean by that? Listen, by getting in his word, by praying and by fasting, by keeping him the main content of your heart so he can bring you into a place of expectancy. Come on now. So I hope that this blesses you. Listen, if some of us is dealing with, distractions and we don't know how to get rid of those distractions, we're like, how do we get rid of the distraction? Listen, I want to encourage you today that there's many, many, many ways that you can get rid of these distractions. And one of the things is by seeking his face. Another thing is, listen, you may be going through, some things in your life, and those things in your life may keep you distracted, keep you in generational cycles and perpetual cycles, that keep you not in a place to where you can't even look at what your purpose is. Listen, I have a book for you. It's a workbook. This workbook will bless your life. It will bless your life in a way that can help you identify where you've got stuck at and where you continue to get stuck at, and how to get unstuck so you can really hear his voice clearly and be able to break out of those cycles so you can be used by God. I want to encourage, there's another book also. That's my workbook, but there's another book that's up there on the screen. It is for women, for men. You might be distracted because your husband ain't acting right. You might be distracted because your fiance ain't wanting to, put that ring on. And listen, as a woman, as you being a woman, this will show you how to get in a place of prayer. This will show you how to look at those things that he's dealing with and be able to fast for him, and be able to and get into a position to where he how do I want to say this? Get into a position to where his heart trusts safely in you, and you can bring things into alignment with what God has for him and you, as a couple. So I encourage you. You can go to my website www.imjlstone and get those books. Listen, you may even want to even get coaching. Listen, we have that available for you. I do it on a regular, and and you know, uh, coaching people. And so you may want to be a part of the cast, of what we're getting ready to do. You've seen the what do you call it? The pilot. You've seen the pilot, and we're starting to cast for different people to come on and do a 3-day intense coaching with our ministry. And listen, leave there, free from all of the things that have weighed you down so you can now get into your place of purpose. Listen, it's free if you're coming on, if you would be willing to come on and share your story with others. But it's a blessing. And I tell you, you won't leave there feeling the same way you came. I promise you. You can text some of the people that have actually already experienced it. They'll tell you that their focus is different. I'm getting ready to do another a YouTube video with the first guest, where are they at now. You're going to be blessed by seeing where they're at and what they're accomplishing. So it really does work with Let's Talk Truth. And then if you just are interested in just reminding people that they're fearfully, wonderfully made, or they have the favor of God, we have those two available on our website in all different colors and all different sizes. We are very, very relatively able to get those out to you quickly. You can give them as a gift, or you can wear it at, for yourself, to remind yourself. All sorts of tools that will help and bless you in this season that we're in. And so you can go to my website again, www.imjlstone, and get yourself one of the fall wear shirts. I got one on. I wear them daily. I love them. They're very comfortable. They don't shrink. Very good material. They last under washing. And so, I'm fearfully, wonderfully made, and I got some more shirts coming out for this next conference that I'm believing God for us to go into. And so we're here to serve you. That's what we're here to do. We're here as a ministry to serve the people and encourage you to get in position. Okay. I am JL Stone. We love you with the love of the Lord. There's nothing you can do about it. We're going to do it on purpose. We're going to do it in purpose. And hey, we're going to do it with all power. So until next week, I'm going to be back next week to share what God has given me to share with you guys. And I hope these videos blesses you the way they are blessing me to be able to share them with you, and giving them and blessing me to even walk through them. So until next time, Love you. God bless you. And we'll talk to you soon.